Hey, I'm Sug, and one of the things that I do in my free time is just teach myself about things. So I thought, why not make videos on the things I teach myself and teach other people? So today, I'll be making a video on the Stonewall Riots. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, do whatever makes you happy. I hope you have a good day. A small bar in the East Village of New York City is bustling with people. The smell of alcohol, glitter, and fun fills the air. In walk 4 people, 2 women and 2 men. Little do the bar dwellers know, these people are undercover police officers. At this point, gay bars have become a staple for queer folk in the United States. They're a safe space to be yourself for many. New York was a hotspot for the queer community, mainly so the suburb of Greenwich, home to the infamous Stonewall Inn. The problem, however, was that homosexuality and cross-dressing was against the law. Many were arrested for the simple act of dancing with the same sex. And to combat gay bars, it was illegal to serve anyone who was suspected of being a homosexual or a cross-dresser. These gay bars were also the home of many queer people of colour. All of this combined meant that police raids were prevalent. The officers inside the bar used the bar phones to call for backup once they had enough information to warrant a raid on the bar. At 1 AM on that Saturday morning, police showed up for the second raid of Stonewall in that week. This raid did not go as they normally would, as many of the patrons were beginning to become more and more infuriated with the police raids for the simple act of having fun as a queer individual. One male police officer had been seen hitting a lesbian over the head with a baton and forcing them into his car. The woman in question was Storm DeLavari, a well-known individual in the queer community of the area, known as the Guardian of the Lesbians, as she was known to patrol the street protecting queer folk. This spurred a lot of the onlooking queer people to react both physically and verbally. Bottles, coins, and anything they could get their hands on outside the bar were being thrown at the police officers. A young man by the name of Mark Siegel was there that night. He and his friend, Marty Robinson, watched this unfold. They both knew it was the start of something big. Marty gave Mark a piece of chalk and told him to go to the nearby village and spread a message on the walls. The message was simple, just 3 words: Stonewall, tomorrow night. But this simple message was enough to invoke the most famous moment in queer liberation. Meanwhile, back at the bar, the police had begun retreating aside as the crowd continued to attack them. Anyone they got their hands on inside the bar, they began to beat, but this just fueled the flames of the angry crowd. From somewhere within this crowd, a trash can was thrown through a window, and the crowd began lighting projectiles on fire and throwing them through the window. A parking meter was torn from the ground by the mob, and was used as a battering ram to try and break down the door. Riot police began arriving to disperse the mob, but this just continued to fuel them. Eventually, the protesters began to feel it was getting out of hand, and they started to disperse. This first day of the riot left 1 police officer with a serious head injury and caused over 13 arrests. The next day, a crowd larger than the night before had formed. Many had come because of a leafleting campaign, Mark's words, and because of the support of groups such as the Students for a Democratic Society and the Black Panthers. Graffiti had appeared on the walls of the inn, declaring, "Drag power, they invaded our rights, support gay power, and legalize gay bars," along with accusations of police looting, and even a message from the owners of the Stonewall Inn, saying, "We are open." On the second night, one of the most famous attendees of the riots had arrived. Marsha P. Johnson is known as one of the most prominent figures in the radicalization and motivation of the crowd at Stonewall. This African-American drag queen was seen climbing a lamppost and dropping a heavy bag in a police car, shattering the windshield. These riots went on for 5 more nights, getting progressively more and more violent, and larger every night. These riots were the forefront of the gay liberation movement. This movement inspired a whole generation of queer folk to take to the streets to celebrate their queerness and embrace it for the world to see. This became what we know as gay pride today. I will be making another video on the aftermath of Stonewall and how it caused such a large movement to form, and how it influenced millions of queer youth. I hope you enjoyed my recap into the history of the Stonewall Riots, and I hope you learned something useful from it. If you enjoyed, please give me some support by leaving a like and subscribing, and leave me a comment letting me know something in this video that you didn't know before. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you stay strong. Peace.